of fate.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me when you'll remember this.
Hello, critics, non-critics, and friends. Welcome to the Film Optix podcast, where we take a glance into blockbusters, indie films, and everything in between. I'm your host, Christian, and today I'm joined back with my co-host, Devin. And today we're here to give our spoiler-free thoughts on Top Gun Maverick. And before we begin today's episode, you can listen to our podcast on podcast platforms around the internet, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. And if you are a new or seasoned listener to the show, we would love to hear from you guys. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X. And you can also email us at filmoptix@gmail.com for any movie-related questions. Devin, how you been, man? It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back.
Feels right.
There you go.
The weather's getting better outside. We're getting some good summer movies coming out here. Getting a lot of shows coming out. Almost too many.
Honestly, I mean, speak for yourself about the weather, because the weather here in Music City has. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been.
Well, last week it was amazing. Like the sun was out all last week and throughout this past weekend. The sun was out. It was beaming. It was amazing. And then all this week has just been nothing but rain. But I believe for Memorial Day weekend, it is supposed to clear up here. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're going on a pontoon boat on Saturday.
Sounds fun.
Never been on one before, so we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. But what have you been watching, man? You been playing any video games? Kind of just watching any good TV shows lately, or you kind of just been chilling?
I have a lot of TV to catch up on. I've not been playing any games. There's just so much to watch.
Dude, there's a lot to watch.
I have a question for you based on this movie.
What's up?
What would your Navy aviator call sign be?
Papa Bear.
Papa Bear.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So in college, I was like the oldest guy living in our fraternity house for my last year because I wanted to live in a nice house, like sue me. You know, I didn't want to live in, you know, like a dump of a house with like other brothers, you know, all that stuff. So I decided to live in our chapter house. Kappa Sigma, proud alum, Kent State University. Go Flashes. But so my last year, parents came up and they met a few of my brothers, and they're like, hey, they're like, you know, like, is Christian the oldest guy living in the house? I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah. You know, he's a cool guy. Only by like 2 years or something like that. But they're like, yeah, like we're gonna start calling him Papa Bear.
There you go. That's the origin story.
So that name actually stuck from then up until like today. So yeah. Well, what would your call sign be?
I mean, I feel like I would have to try Dev Dog. I mean, that's just the OG. But then I don't know how that would fly, because a lot of people online always confuse it with Devil Dog, which is like a Marine, another name for a Marine. It's funny. I actually got called Fake Navy once, which is incorrect and just not how it's spelled. But
was that through Xbox?
that was on PC, actually. A lot of people online will be like, why are you false valor? Like, why are you trying to be a Marine? Like, no, it's not what it says. There's no IL in there.
Yeah. See, I did not know that whatsoever. I think I sent you that one picture of, it was the dog sign. It was Devin's Dog Days. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dev Dog would be a really nice call sign for sure.
I was thinking maybe you would have gone with Caveman, like your old gamer tag.
The Bale Caveman. That was because there was the Irish Caveman and a few others. I was like, yeah, I want to be part of the Caveman clan. I actually changed my name on Xbox. They let me change it for free, which is insane. They let me change it from the Bale Caveman. I changed it to not Bo-Katan, but Bro Katan.
There you
Very
go.
nice stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, I've been playing a little bit of the multiverses, which is actually kind of fun. I'm hoping they add more characters, which is really, really cool.
That trailer actually looked good.
It really did. So I'm really excited. Like, I hope this kind of takes off because we need like a Super Smash Brothers-esque game that's not just on Nintendo. But like, can you imagine if Super Smash Brothers was on Xbox, PlayStation, PC? Like, I would buy it in a heartbeat. I really, really would.
There's that Nickelodeon one too.
Oh yeah, the Nickelodeon one. Almost forgot about that. I don't know. I feel like if there is any studio that could pull it off, I mean, Warner Brothers can definitely do it. I mean, Marvel could too, honestly. So I don't know. Maybe there'll be a Disney throwdown or something like that, or a Disney Dimmadome. Home of the Dims.
There you go.
But man, oh man, enough chatter here, everyone. You're here to listen to our first thoughts about Top Gun Maverick. Man, I got to say before we get into this review, Devin, of course, this is going to be spoiler free for everyone out there. We're going to try a different approach today. See if we can talk about a movie without actually talking about the plot of the movie. We've done it before, so I think we can do it again. But I got to say, I was blown away. I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. I don't hate the man or anything. I respect everything he does, for Hollywood, for his career. I think he's a phenomenal actor. Just not a big fan of Tom Cruise, the person. But man, oh man, he gets a great freaking performance here. So, Devin, are you ready to dive into our Top Gun Maverick review, our analysis, our call signs? Dev Dog and Papa Bear coming in.
Papa Bear, roll out.
Dev Dog call out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this introduction to Top Gun Maverick.
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell. Let me be perfectly blunt. You are not my first choice. You are here at the request of Admiral Kosinski, aka Iceman. He seems to think that you have something left to offer the Navy. What that is, I can't imagine.
With all due respect, sir, I'm not a teacher. Just want to manage expectations.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with our Top Gun Maverick review. Again, this is spoiler free, so unfortunately, we're not going to be diving too much into it because there's a lot here to spoil, and we kind of just want to give our initial thoughts here. We'll kind of get initial thoughts, maybe drop a few Easter eggs, some non-spoiler Easter eggs for you guys, get into the final thoughts, and of course, we'll get into our ratings later on. But the story for Top Gun Maverick is as follows. After more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him, which is actually really scary to think about. They have all these different military ranks, and it's like kind of like the higher you go, the more you become of the sitting behind the desk type of role. It feels like, your adventure, dev dog days are over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of, every rank is different. I mean, I'm not a military person myself. I did not serve, but for Memorial Day weekend, I think this was a very fitting movie to finally release. I will say I'm very happy that this movie is out, so I don't have to watch the trailer anymore. It's been what, 1 or 2 years?
It was a good trailer the first couple times.
It was. I mean, so was the AMC We Make Movies Better with Nicole Kidman.
That was never good.
It was fun the first few times, but apparently it's going to be playing all through this year, so we might as well just.
I actually managed to miss it because I was running a little late, so I got in as the movie was starting.
Missed it. I see.
Yeah,
Air quotes.
It was very convenient timing.
Oh man, gosh. Oh,
I should also mention I did this movie a bit of a disservice. I went to the Soul and AMC to watch this one. I apologize, Tom Cruise. I didn't stream it, so Tom Cruise would be happy about that. But I probably saw it in possibly the worst theater possible.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, I feel like I also did this movie disservice. I was not able to see this in IMAX. It would have been great to see in IMAX, to be completely honest. Yeah. It's just, I live a little bit farther away after my move from the IMAX Dolby Theater. So It's going to take a pretty special movie to get me to go to one of those for sure. But for Top Gun Maverick, we have the director. I believe he was the director of the first Top Gun. Correct me if I'm wrong, Devin. I'm not entirely sure, but it is Joseph Kosinski.
Actually, the director of the first one has actually passed away.
Oh,
so they kind of did this in honor of him. But it is the same writers.
Okay, yeah. I recognize the writers for sure. I do apologize about the misinformation about the director. I thought it was the same. I do apologize. And for the writers, of course, Peter Craig is attached to this as the original two writers as well. I don't have the information up on there. I actually just put down Peter Craig's name. I believe it was Christopher McQuarrie and Aaron Kruger? Yeah. I'm butchering everybody's names today. I'm a little bit on cloud nine right now, but it's an early weekend for me to say the least. But of course, this stars Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, and Miles Teller, just to name a few. So I'm actually going to pass it over to Devin so he can give his initial reactions to Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I thought it was overall a pretty good time. Like we mentioned before, it's definitely better than the first one for both of us, because the first one, I watched it probably a year ago and could not remember much of any of it. In fact, when I was watching this one, Jennifer Connelly came up as Penny, like his love interest, and I was like, oh, she was in the first one. She wasn't.
No, she wasn't.
I was like, oh, that's how little I remember about the first one. Because I guess like her name gets mentioned, but she's never seen the first one. She just kind of pops up in this one, which was interesting. But yeah, I liked the infusion of some young talent. Miles Teller, obviously the main star of the show here. I kind of thought he looked more like Tom Cruise's son than he looked like Goose's son. Like he kind of has that Tom Cruise resemblance a little bit, just taller.
Yeah,
just kind of dwarfs over Tom Cruise. Poor little guy.
They try their best to make Miles Teller, kind of resemble Goose in a way. So, I mean, I really enjoy it though, but yeah, it's kind of, you kind of get an actor who kind of looks like Goose, like, could this be, Goose's son? Sure. Why not? Cause I mean, in the first movie, Goose's son had like, Macaulay Culkin, like Mo Howard bowl haircut. I mean, it came out I think it was like mid 80s or something like that. The first one. Yeah.
Yeah. 86.
Okay, yeah, 86.
Yeah, I definitely like Miles Teller in here. John Hamm as the kind of like stern, like doesn't give any like I didn't love this role for him. I mean, I love him as an actor, but I feel like it just didn't give him much to work with. Just being the stern, like mean old Grinch, like kind of
bad cop kind of thing. Yeah,
like I like John Hamm way much more when he can have a sense of humor, and he did not have one in this movie. It is insane that there's zero CGI in this movie. Like Tom Cruise makes it a point to not have any or very little of that in his movies. It really is admirable, just because the shots all look so insane. And apparently the whole cast had to go through intensive flight training run by Tom Cruise himself. That's just how dedicated he is.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously I know Tom Cruise does his own stunts, but I was trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, which one is he actually like, flying? But it's like it's amazing, the stunts that he's able to pull off. The realism, the immersion that he's able to, bring to his movies and whatnot. So I think it's great.
I don't even know how they shoot this stuff. Like this and Mission Impossible. I don't know how they do it,
dude.
Honestly,
did you get the new Mission Impossible trailer in this? Oh wait, no, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I shut up late.
We did for sure. I mean, it was definitely it's a Tom Cruise weekend day type thing. So I mean, I'm not a big Mission Impossible fan. I do remember us watching Fallout. I don't know if we ever.
Fallout was great, but I just haven't really watched the other ones.
I haven't either. I might check out this new one before like Rebecca Ferguson and Haley Atwell. Like, I mean, just them two alone will bring me to a theater. So I mean,
Captain Carter.
Yeah, Captain Carter for sure.
I mean, yeah, like the flight stuff is all great. Like the action scenes, there's a couple of kind of more grounded like scenes and settings that you wouldn't expect in a Top Gun movie. Like when they become kind of foot soldiers, it's pretty interesting. A lot of the ending is pretty predictable, which is kind of to be expected. you kind of know who's going to save the day at what point, but it's still exciting nonetheless. And then there's that beach football scene, which was heavily shown in the trailer, which is definitely interesting to watch. I'm very intrigued by that form of football where they have two footballs and they're playing offense and defense at the same time. Like, that's very intriguing to me.
I kind of want to try
like to know how that works.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And like, honestly, I think the NFL should make a few changes. I mean, it doesn't have to be
we can try it. We can try it for 1 week.
Yeah. I mean, just do it during preseason. To see how it goes,
Top Gun mode.
Get the young scrappers out there,
and they all have all players have call signs too. It'd be a whole cool thing.
Oh man, that would actually be pretty great for sure. But for my I guess initial reactions or just first thoughts on this movie, like I said before, I'm not like the biggest Tom Cruise fan. Like I said, I think he's a phenomenal actor. I have nothing but respect for all the stunts and, like I said earlier, the immersion that he's able to bring to his movies and going through the excessive flight training and whatnot for this film. I will say, if you're gonna go see this weekend, definitely watch the first movie beforehand. Devin and I kind of fall on the coin where, the first Top Gun's cool. It is a bit of a snoozer from time to time. But it is a very 80s cult classic movie. I understand why people like it. It's just not really for me all that much.
It's all about that soundtrack. I feel like
it really
that's
is
such a big part of it.
I mean, and even just, the flight training and everything that takes place. It's just really fun to watch.
And even just the Navy culture in general is they're just all so cool.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty
signs,
sweet.
the sunglasses.
Yeah. And it's, with Maverick, I mean, I feel like a lot of people have been saying this. I mean, it's sitting at a 99% audience score right now and a 97% on the critic side on Rotten Tomatoes. But this is probably when it comes to reboots and sequels to cult classic movies, 9 times out of 10, they usually don't work. I mean, with Terminator, that should have worked, but it didn't. Unfortunately, it did not. But Top Gun Maverick, way better than the original. I really enjoyed this movie.
It's pretty rare when that happens, especially 30 years later.
Yeah, especially. And the story itself, it really just weaves itself into what came before. I think they did a great job of how they handled Val Kilmer's character, Iceman, for sure, with his scenes and just pushing the story forward in a way where it just makes sense. If this wasn't clearly a cash grab. The first one was also produced, through Paramount Pictures, through that studio. So, they're trying to keep it alive. But there's a lot of Top Gun fans out there as well. I think it is just fantastic how people are able to appreciate it. But definitely, as I said, I don't think I would have enjoyed this movie as much if I didn't watch the first one. Again, first one's okay, but I feel like as a double feature, you can definitely watch both. And, it makes Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, a very pleasing experience. I mean, the shots, like you said, I don't know how they got all those shots of all those pilots and just, you really felt like you were in the air, which is what I really, really enjoyed. And I was blown away for sure. Some of the story threads, obviously with, spoiler, Goose dying in the first Top Gun, the story kind of follows along with his son. His call sign is Rooster. So it really
sticking in the bird family.
Yes, sticking. We weird. It was like Vulture. I feel like Rooster's better. Goose, Rooster. It just fits in that.
What if it's just cock?
And the
or peacock.
What if it was peacock? Hope NBC's not listening. Dude. We don't want any.
NBC can make their own version
for sure. But it really pushes the unspoken relationship between Maverick and Rooster of what happens to Goose, and there is that divide, not even just with the death of Rooster. I mean, not Rooster. Excuse me, Goose. There's a few other hidden secrets in there as well, which is what's really kind of puts a divide between them. it just makes sense. So, Devin, you mentioned earlier about Jennifer Connelly playing Penny Benjamin. Definitely not the same Penny at all. I was like, is that her? I'm like, maybe. I didn't really know. And then I looked it up. I'm like, no, that's not her.
Yeah, just my brain was kind of like, oh yeah, she was in the first one.
Yeah.
But she just wasn't.
Yeah. And like for me, it was more of like a 1-2 type thing. Like I mentioned, I watched Top Gun, the original, the night before. Originally wasn't going to, but I'm really, really glad that I did. Like I said before, it really, it kind of just adds that extra emotional weight to it. There are, there's a lot of scenes where obviously they're in the air, but there's a lot of foot action, like you mentioned earlier, with a lot of I guess you could say infantry type level things that happen on the ground level. Yeah, and football.
they had to do it again, just like the infamous volleyball scene from the first one. We just had to.
Oh, for sure. And of course the amazing bar scenes as well. It's great stuff. I really did enjoy the bar scenes as well. But yeah, that's pretty much just like my initial reactions, my spoiler-free thoughts. But I'll pass it back over to Devin really quick if there's anything he wanted to mention that he hasn't gotten to yet.
Some interesting trivia here. The real Top Gun school. It is a real school.
Oh,
Top Gun. But apparently they impose a $5 fine to any staff member that quotes the film. So you cannot quote this film if you're a real Top Gun.
So I think you should actually quote from Captain Marvel. What was it? Higher, further, faster, baby.
Yeah. Goose, the cat.
Goose the cat. That's right. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm interested in these trivia facts you got going on here.
That was the main one I had. I also just wanted to mention that for me, like, that's not even a competition what the coolest call sign is. It's Iceman.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get cool with an ice. Like, that's just the coolest nickname you could have.
So from the new recruits, since Maverick is coming back and, being a teacher and instructor at Top Gun, who do you think?
There's some interesting ones.
Outside of Rooster. No Rooster.
I mean, fanboy is not a good one.
It's
a bad call sign. Phoenix is cliche.
Yeah.
Payback, Hangman. I mean, there were a couple of jokes out of it. But
yeah, for sure. But I like the way it was actually on plastered
like
on his
Hangman
helmet.
game.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Apparently, John Hamm's was Cyclone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Phoenix is okay. Warlock was for Charles Parnell. That was a pretty cool name.
Lewis Pullman just being Bob. That's pretty funny.
That was actually pretty hilarious. Yeah, I think Iceman is definitely just the best.
You can't beat Iceman.
I mean, you can't beat Maverick either, like, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But it's like Iceman. But what did you think of Val Kilmer's performance? I think they did a fantastic job with his character, how they handled this character.
Yeah, nice brief little scene they had together.
Well, actually, so is Val Kilmer's voice, I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really caught up with him. Like, is his voice actually, like, gone? Or is it...
Yeah, I was going to ask, I don't remember what happened in the first movie. Did he have, like, an injury or something? Or is this just kind of an old age thing?
No, it was just old age. I thought there was a reason why they did it the way that they did. You know what I mean? Without giving anything away, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but no, I think he did a great job. I mean, I actually liked him as Bruce Wayne, to be completely honest. Loved him in Heat as well. So, Thunderheart, all that stuff.
This is crazy. The actors that played the pilots not only had to film themselves, turn the camera on and off, they had to touch up their own makeup, adjust their own lighting, and handle their own sound. So the actors all had to do all the setup for themselves.
That's crazy. That's insane. It's just the tech experience behind this is like insane. But I think out of all of the new recruits, minus Rooster, I think Phoenix was probably my favorite new character. She was just
there's a scene with her that definitely has a bit of a twist in it that was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Monica Barrow is her name. So yeah, let's close on out here with our final thoughts and our ratings. I'll pass it back over to Devin so we can give his his final nail in the coffin of this movie, so we never have to watch this trailer ever again, even though it was a great trailer.
Yeah, overall, I agree with you. Not a huge Tom Cruise fan, but lately he has definitely been more on top of his game. Definitely an exciting movie. I regret not seeing it on a big IMAX screen, but just didn't really have the time and didn't want to spend the money on it. But definitely an exciting movie. Very impressive how it's shot and how there's no CGI. The story is definitely a bit lacking, especially towards the end. You just kind of see what's coming and not much surprise in the end. But overall, definitely enjoyable, more enjoyable than the first one. I'd probably give it like a 77. Just solid. Definitely had some issues, but got the job done for the most part.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same vein. For my final thoughts, I really think this is like a technical masterpiece. I mean, just like what was it, 4v Ferrari? Like, I'm not a big car person.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. It just kind of reminds me a lot of Ford v Ferrari, the ultimate dad film.
How was what was like the age in your audience when you went to go see it? Was there a lot of people?
I was the only one.
Oh, you're the only one.
It's the Solon Theater. No one goes there.
Oh, dude, I'm not sure.
So bad.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
There's just so bad, such bad theaters. Like it's like on a ramp. Like the room it's in.
Really?
It like dips down and then goes back up.
Ugh.
The seating is so weird.
No recliners or anything like that?
No.
Oh, that's terrible. No. I can't. We can't have that. We can't have that whatsoever. Absolutely not. No. But
This
yeah.
is just the only one that had like a 4:30 show time, and I was like, oh, fine.
Yeah, there was a few more for me, but yeah, my theater was like half empty, half full, that type situation. But it was cool. Everyone, cheered and, laughed during the funny bits and whatnot. So I thought I saw it with a pretty good audience. My only regret is I wish I would have saw this in IMAX, but I think it's a technical marvel for sure. And honestly, it kind of flew.
The more you think about it, it's just insane.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it does teeter on the edge, towards the end. It drags out just a little bit, but I mean, it held my attention the entire way. And I think it's great. So let's get into scores really quick. What would you give Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah, I gave it like a 77.
Yeah.
Lucky sevens.
70. I'd probably give it like a solid 75. I really enjoyed it. I'm just not a big Top Gun fan just in general, but I appreciate, everything that they did to create this movie. And I think pushing it back, I mean, as annoying as it may be, I think that was the right call. I don't know if I'll see it again. If I do, it will definitely be in IMAX, but there's just so much to watch right now. There's a lot of TV shows coming up, but, I was glad we were able to, cover this for Memorial Day weekends. So that concludes our episode of Top Gun Maverick here today on the Film Optix podcast. We have so much stuff coming out on the podcast. It really is insane. May through June is just going to be busy. We're going to be some busy bees over here. We have Obi-Wan coming up. We have Stranger Things we're going to try to cover for you guys. Umbrella Academy Season 3, The Boys Season 3, and more. And of course, you can check out our first impressions of Miss Marvel, the first 2 episodes that are hitting. The first episode's hitting Disney Plus June 8th. I believe. So that's like the next Marvel series that's going to be coming out. And of course, we're going to be running in between, Star Wars, Marvel, and a few other movies that are going to be coming out. It's just going to be crazy, but it's going to be a very TV heavy centric few episodes coming up here. But there's one thing we asked you guys to do is to share an episode of our podcast with a friend, whether it be with your mother, your brother, your lover, whoever it may be. Make sure to share an episode of the Film Optix podcast with a movie lover in need. Again, Devin, always great to have you on. Amazing friend, amazing brother, co-host, everything. So we're going to see you guys later on, and we hope that you've had a great Memorial Day weekend. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you all for listening. And if you enjoy the show, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay in the know. That was Devin. My name is Christian. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Dev Dog, Papa Bear.